The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. I was at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 318th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz. I'm the host of this lovely show, and joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how are you doing?
Let me talk to you. Now, I am doing good. This is excited as we count down to Double or Nothing because I saw on my time hop today, it was yesterday, that me, you, and Sydney were together a year ago.
Yeah.
At Dynamite and Collision. Well, what, in a couple weeks, we're going to be together for Double or Nothing. So it's just like we're made friends. And I heard about your daunting experience with the now defunct Spirit Airlines. We do not have Spirit. No, we don't. No. The America lost its spirit. And so... when that went out of business. So that was crazy. I was like, 'cause I didn't know anybody that affected because I was like, no one I know flies Spirit Airlines. Well, apparently one person I know flies Spirit Airlines.
I literally was like trying to find flights so that way we were good for Double or Nothing. And the thing was, dude, like the flights were getting in on Saturday was expensive. So I was like, well, I found a flight for Friday on Spirit through Expedia that literally was like $110 per passenger round trip. I was like, well, fuck me. I mean, if that's the best I'm gonna find, so I'm gonna take it. And I knew that Spirit was on the verge of collapse, so I was like, we'll figure it out from that point on. I still actually got a call. I got an email because I booked it through Expedia. Like they basically emailed me being like, oh, you're going to call your credit card company to try to be able to take care of that. And I was like, that already is a bad sign, just getting that notification. So I'm just like, I haven't even called them yet because I was just like, I was going to wait a couple days before all the insanity of Spirit going out of business because they were going to get flooded with calls, I'm sure. So I was just like, I'm going to wait, and eventually I'm just going to call, see what I can do to get it back. Again, if I got to bite the bullet on it, it's whatever. But I was like, hey, man, it was the cheapest flight I could find, and, like, I was going to take it. You know what I mean? So, but, yeah, it was a bummer, though. But we're sorted out now, so we're all good in that regard. So, but it was – I woke up, and I was like, oh, cool. That's great news.
Okay. Now, I do have to ask you, well, I'm glad you got that place sorted out because I'm happy y'all get to see the Lost Boys. Yes. Which I was talking to Sydney, and she's like, I want you to go see the Lost Boys. And I was like, I fucking hated that movie when I grew up. But she said the musical's different, but I won't be in town for it anyway. But I was like, I fucking hated that movie. I was like, dude, I hated that movie so much, I almost didn't watch 24 because Kiefer Sutherland was in it.
Oh, yeah.
So no. That being said, we gotta discuss the most important thing. What everybody tuned into this show to hear. What every wrestling fan wants to know. Are you Team Megan or Team Clay?
I'm probably Team Megan if I'm being honest.
Okay. I am team I do not care.
Yeah.
Because I'm old. And I
don't care. I truly don't care either, but I'm going to pick a side because I'm going to pick a side.
So it was funny because I brought that up, and we're going to move on really quick. But because when that happened, dude, you would have thought the president, I saw more coverage, more stuff online about Meghan and Clay splitting than I saw on the shooting of the White House. Now, that might be how I have curated my social media presence to
maybe a little bit.
A lot of politics, but it was hilarious to me. I was like, man, a couple broke up. That shit happens, bruh. What's going on here? And then I was like, hey, they're famous people. They're more important than me, so it's cool. No, but we are, are going to actually discuss the big news in the wrestling world later.
For sure,
in the show. But it was kind of funny because I was like, I wonder what Austin, because you're 15 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. So what we care about as far as the social aspect sometimes will differ. So I didn't know if you cared about that or not.
I do love me some Megan Thee Stallion music, I will say that. And our homie Jared, our good friend, when the Mavericks traded for Klay Thompson back when Luka was still on the team, oh my God, he was so pissed because he was not a Klay Thompson fan even a little bit. Like every time he would make fun of Klay Thompson, he'd be like, Klay Thompson for 3, and it just like brick. Jared was so pissed when that happened, back when he still cared about the Mavs before they traded Luka, and now that he's on LA, he's all the way in there, which, isn't really working out for him against your OKC Thunder.
Well, it might work out better if Luka was actually playing.
Correct.
Yeah, so... yeah. I mean, honestly, Thunder might not lose in the playoffs, like at all. There's a chance.
I will say, like, this will be the last we say about it, though, before we get to the actual wrestling that people care about. Spurs Thunder is a series that I think could be a legitimate fun series in the West. Outside of that, I don't know if y'all lose.
If they do a game in Oklahoma City on Friday or Sunday, I'm going to make myself go to it because to say you saw Wembanyama versus SGA in the playoffs, I don't watch a lot of basketball. I don't. I keep up with whether the Thunder win or lose, but I'm not sitting there in front of the screen like you hit me up and like, oh, I'm gonna watch the rest of the game before we get on, and I was like, the Thunder aren't winning by 40 because the reason I said that is because the Thunder and Lakers this season, 4 games, 3 of the 4 games they won by 28 points.
Mm-hmm. That was us with the Knicks. That was with the Knicks, dude.
Yeah, it's like, so it wasn't like, oh, the Thunder barely pulled it out. No, they destroyed the Lakers every time they played in the regular season. So I didn't think
playoffs are different.
Playoffs are different, but okay. So they destroyed the Lakers with Luka.
Yeah,
then Luka not playing. Then I was like, okay, they just gonna smash them, which they did.
They go in the tank way faster in the regular season. I mean, you already know the tanking issues in the league too. So when teams are out of it, they coast through in regular season games. It's much different than playoffs. So specifically with basketball.
So they said OKC didn't play their best game in the first game. They won by 18.
I know.
It wasn't even close. And then I think they won by double figures tonight. So it's like...
Yes, they did. Oh, yeah, they put it out of reach at one point. Yeah, and I was like, all right, I'm coming on with Jared. I'm coming on with Floyd. But, yeah, I was locked in too much. I was locked in too much with the Pistons, dude. Like, I'm fucking losing my goddamn mind that my team is relevant again.
Austin, I know you only know 2 black people, but we're not the same. Okay?
Stop it.
I'm like a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier than Jared.
I know more than 2 black people, you asshole.
I couldn't let that slide. You called me Jared. I couldn't let it go.
I was hoping I cut out or something when that happened. That way you wouldn't have been able to put me on blast like that.
No, but seriously, we missed last week. Austin was helping his sister move from New York to Detroit, and I found out they're going to be doing this once a year, which is fucking daunting at last.
Correct.
I did Oklahoma City to Houston to Brooklyn. I've said this on the show, and I'm not trying to tell the story again. And I've done that drive. I did it once, and I will never do it again.
Yep.
And I did it once. It was great. I'll never when I say I'll never do it again, Like, if FTR decided to do the retirement match in New York and plane tickets were just stupid, yes, I would do it again. It's like, but it'd have to be something fucking super special for me to do it. The FTR Express likes to... Honestly, I'm at this point, I think I've said this before, 6 hours is kind of my cutoff on drives.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's longer than 6 hours, I'm flying at this point. But unless somebody is like splitting the drive with me. But my wife, we did the Rome, Georgia thing, 12 hours each way. My wife actually literally got a blood clot from sitting that long. So literally those type of long drives are just, for the most part, off the table for us. So, yeah, that's way more information than you needed to know.
Yeah. The drive would have been much easier if we didn't have to drive through the night. Full disclosure, we drove from like 7 o'clock at night on Saturday and got into Michigan 7:30 in the morning the next day, and I was holding on for dear fucking life.
So when you said New York to Michigan, when New York to Michigan or Michigan to New York, I was thinking that was like 50, like at least 20 hours. It was only 12.
No. It was only like 11 hours.
Oh shit, literally Oklahoma City to Rome, Georgia is 12. So all right, yeah, and I did it early this year. So it's not that bad. Okay. I thought
it's a fine drive as long as I don't got to drive through the night. Driving through the night was disastrous for me. I was struggling. Like, once we got into the state of Michigan, like, I was just fucking gripping the wheel because I could feel myself, like, my eyes were starting to glaze over, and I was just like, fucking get it together, dude. I'm like, I can't be swaying right now when I'm driving a car that's not even mine. There's a cat in the back seat, and I'm just like, please hold on, please.
See, and that's where my advantage comes through, because when do I stay awake mostly?
At night.
And that's when I prefer to drive. When I plan a trip, like the Georgia trip, we left at night to get there in the morning, because I prefer to drive at night because there's just less traffic. So, yeah. So, anyway,
yes. That's a lot of jibber-jabber before the main event.
You got to love that jibber-jabber. Okay.
Jibber-jabber. But yes, we did miss the show last week with me doing the moving my sister back. She finished her first full year of vet school. Shouts out to my little sister, Sydney. First full year of vet school in the book. She's 25% of the way from being a veterinarian. Let's go. So I want to make sure I shout that out. But we missed last week because of that. But we're back now for a huge 3-hour combo Dynamite Collision show that took place on Wednesday this week. Of course, we're building up a few weeks until we get to Double or Nothing, which everyone is highly anticipating moving into that show. But we're going to get into everything that took place, including the huge news that has been hitting the wrestling world most recently. So we're going to touch on all of that. Before we get into the show, guys, though, we appreciate all the support you guys give us. So if you enjoy the show, we hope you continue to rate, review, subscribe, and turn automatic downloads on, whether you listen to us on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're getting this podcast. We appreciate it, and we would hope you give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. And if you enjoy us and want to chat with us, we're on social media. We are at AT Elite Pod on Twitter. You can also follow at Social Suplex. We're part of the Social Suplex Network. Proud to be. Love the guys in this podcasting network. They've got a bunch of great podcasts that you should be checking out as well as this one. So give our boys at Social Suplex some love. I'm at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. And check out the Social Suplex newsletter. You can find the link to that in the description of the show.
Okay, before we get started, I do have a funny story, and I don't want to forget it, so I'm going to tell it.
All good. Let's do it.
It's kind of wrestling related, but not. But I'm going to try not to name names. If you've been listening to the show, you'll know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say the name here. So I signed up to do personal trainer early this year. I said the name at the time, not saying it again here, in case it's first time, whatever. Signed up for personal trainer. Been working. First of all, the person that signed me up to personal trainer, I thought I was going to be working with them. They actually ended up putting me with someone else to work with that's not them, which is the reason I kind of signed up. Whatever. So go through the period of time. We go through period of time and fast forward to now. So the way he messaged me was on Instagram. And, I replied, and I ended up signing up with the service, right? So, okay, that's what he does. He kind of cold messages on Instagram and tries to build up interest. Amazing. hey, if that works for you, if that's your way of marketing and selling, it's great. It worked on me, so of course it works. So a few days ago, and this is where it gets funny, I'm on Twitter and he messages me. And I'm thinking, oh, he's messaging me to check up on him. So he goes in like, are you from the States? And I didn't reply because I work in IT, and if you go on my profile, which is very public, it says FTR Express at Floyd Johnson Jr. and then a location, it says Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So I thought it was a bot. He's literally asking me a question that is on my profile, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's weird, right? So I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, I thought you were a bot. So he starts kind of asking questions and introducing to me myself. Again, I went in the initial, thought he was kind of checking up on me. So, same profile picture, same name, same city. He doesn't realize we're the same person. And he's trying to sell me on a service that I'm actively paying for right now. I got to tell you, I have never felt more like a number than I do right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, all my profile stuff is the same. Same picture, same blackballed guy in the pink shirt. Floyd Johnson Jr. I always put my name on my shit because I always say I want to own. I think it puts personal responsibility on me to watch my fucking mouth on social media. Like, hey, it says your name. Mm-hmm. So he's literally like messaging me. So I don't want to make it a big deal because he works in the wrestling space. I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm around the wrestling. So I don't want to make it a big deal. I don't want to make it a thing. So I just quit replying. And he's like, are you ghosting me? And I'm kind of just I'm just sitting here hoping this man realizes that literally he's talking to the same person. Did not. He did not at all. And yeah, actually, so it's kind of like, it's pissed off. My wife's pissed.
Oh, I bet.
I find it hilarious. Because I had this other one, and this is not really a story. I once bought a car from a car dealership, bought my Honda Civic that I loved so much. And then I came back the next day to sign some paperwork. And the guy that sold me the car, I tried to say hi to him. That dude no-sold me so hard. It was like we had never met. He just like, dude, we literally, you know how long it takes to buy a car. We had spent 5 hours together the day before. The next day, I was just saying hi. Had no complaints, no nothing. Just we were walking by. I was going to sign a paper, saying hi. No sold me. Like, I don't know who you are. He got what he wanted from me, and he had no use for me, my existence ever again. That's kind of how I feel right now.
Oh, man.
And it's not personal. I understand he's got a business. He's trying to get his business, trying to, sign up new people. Shit, he probably talks to quite a few people every week. But come on, man. You have to realize, there has to be some context clues. He's a black guy named Floyd from Oklahoma City, super into wrestling, works IT, and works overnight. All things we've discussed on the call. How many of us do you think there is? Something had to jog your memory. Like, maybe I've had this conversation before. So I didn't, like I said, I'm not engaging anymore. It was, like I said, I got to laugh and I'm not engaging because he's like, are you ghosting me? I was like, I'm not ghosting you. First of all, it is like, he's like messaging me. I'm like, I quit replying. And I was like, I was hoping he would get the hint, but no, he keeps messaging me. And I'm like,
oh, no.
So tomorrow I got a meeting with my personal trainer guy and I'm going to tell him, I'm like, hey, you should probably tell your boss that once he sells someone stuff, he should at least remember their name.
Maybe a little bit.
I mean, I'm not saying you ain't got to know anything about me, but at least remember this is Floyd from Oklahoma. Like, say, are you the same Floyd from Oklahoma? Like, do kind of field check. So I told my friend Jason, my friend Jason, who I talk about anything. I feel like a person, whether I'm not gonna say a particular sex, that hey, the person hooked up with me on Tinder and then try to hook up with me again on like Bumble or something. Like we already hooked up. You already. Oh, that's you?
Oh, it's you.
That's you? No, that's what I was like. So it was funny. It made me feel a little cheap. And I was just like, I thought it was hilarious because I wanted to tell you that story, but I literally saved it for this show because, again, like I said, someone that listens to our show weekly will know exactly who I'm talking about. And they'll be like, because I said his name when I signed up. But I was just trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to like have minutes of me going on blast. That's why I keep saying someone. But if you listen to the show, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. And it's funny because at one point in time, I was like, okay, when Cody's done, this guy's going to be my favorite wrestler. I'm kind of good on that now. I think so. Yeah, I think I'm over that feeling. Nah, I'm good. All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Dynamite, sir.
Yes, but on the big news of the week, first of all, is that we have a rumored spot for AEW Redemption. So, Floyd, did you want to touch on that real quick?
Okay, so it looks like it's going to be in Montreal, and it looks like it's going to be in July. So it looks like they're throwing in a pay-per-view between Forbidden Door and All In, which for me, so it was funny. Just in specifics, I was like, oh, it's Montreal, which is great because we hadn't heard anything about the Owen Hart Cup, which last year the finals was at Double or Nothing. So I was like, when are they going to do it? So now they can either do the finals at Forbidden Door or they could do the finals at this new pay-per-view AEW Redemption from Montreal. So a little check, wait and hear stuff from about that. But I did have to thank Tony Khan personally because I kind of put on myself that since I really don't go to WWE or anything like that anymore, I was going to try to go to all 9 pay-per-views. I was like, okay. And I was like, well, they announced Forbidden Door was in San Jose. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to make it work because I just want to say I went to every one of the pay-per-views, right? And that would be the first time since like 2020, whatever, they went from 5 to whenever they went over 5, I was done. So they're at 9. So they added a 10th one. And I was like, okay, so I know I'm not going to Montreal because that's really close to like, it's within a month of All In. And then me and my wife got a trip. So I know I'm not going to Montreal. So it literally took the pressure off myself that I created to go to Forbidden Door. So I'm not going to either one. Because to me, it's like the goal was to go to all of them, right? And well, now I know that I can't go to one. Now I don't feel necessarily pressured to go to Forbidden Door. You get what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'm like the point of Forbidden Door was to like, oh, I'm gonna go to all 9, and no, that's not what's happening. So but AEW Redemption, it's in Canada, so I'm confident that that's where the Owen Hart Cup finals will be. I may be wrong, but it just seems like that makes sense. It'll be like a month before All In. It's a July pay-per-view, month before All In.
Gives them stuff to book for a while.
Yeah, and then you get whoever wins that, then you build that up to All In. So there you go. And happy birthday to Big Billy with the Big Willie. Oh, Mr. Will Ospreay. Happy birthday, Mr. Will Ospreay. Crazy that our guy, or one of our captains, 33 years old today. Yeah, 33 years old today. So hope to see him. Hope to see him in London this year. And
I'm sure this man had plenty of sex on the beaches to celebrate his birthday. So I'm sure he was getting lit.
Yes, he said his surgery on his neck cost more than his house.
Which was, he also mentioned too, like TK paid for all of it.
Yes. And what we'll be discussing earlier, which was the big news of the week, should tell you how the practices may be different.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit different. But so that'll be fun. But
yes.
So those
we'll
are the
save
big
that
stories
for the end of the show.
Yes.
Fun. We'll go ahead and we'll get into AEW Dynamite and Collision, the 3-hour special we had this week, taking place in North Charleston, South Carolina. show opened up, first of all, with a very sweet and very touching tribute to Ted Turner, billionaire Ted. Unfortunately, he had passed away on Wednesday, and Tony Schiavone was in the ring and talked about basically his time working under Ted in WCW and how he changed the way wrestling worked and how he basically is one of the reasons why AEW exists. Like, he was the guy who helped fund the first true competition to WWE at the time. And then just so happens that AEW looking for a TV deal in 2019, and they go to the other place that has had competing wrestling on their network in the past. They go to Turner Broadcasting, they go to TNT for Dynamite, and then eventually move over to TBS. And then, super cool moment too, they bring out Sting to speak on Billionaire Ted, and he gives a cool little speech too. It's just a really cool moment. And from what I read, I don't know exactly, I know Meltzer mentioned this, that he was supposed to be just doing media for Dynamite in Collision that week in the Carolinas, because obviously that's Sting country for sure. And he wanted to come out and actually say something about Ted when they mentioned that they were going to do this. So really cool thing too. And just a really sweet moment to just give an in memoriam to a guy that loved professional wrestling, and it was just such a cool thing too, because again, like I said, AEW probably doesn't exist without Billionaire Ted.
Yeah, the one question and answer. Hey, what do you need to compete with WWE? A primetime slot on Monday night. Done. And he literally created the Monday Night Wars with that thing. He's like, that's a prime slot that a lot of people make money off of. And he said, hey, I'm giving it to wrestling, which is like, yeah.
And then Sting talked about how like he would go and like Ted would go into the meetings with all these other like corporate people, basically being like, why are you getting into the wrestling business? Why are you trying to put all your eggs in this basket? And he's like, y'all just told the wrestlers just keep doing what you're doing because y'all, I got deep pockets. I was just like, fuck yeah. I'm all for a guy who has money and wants to put it into something like pro wrestling. I feel like once you get to that point where that's what you have, it's either sports or it's wrestling, I feel like, or just any kind of entertainment like that. Once you reach that level, I feel like you give back to fans of certain industries by putting money into those industries. I feel like that's why many people own sporting teams and stuff like that.
I don't know if he was over it by then, but the one thing I said, even when I was younger, this is like not coming from a 45-year-old man, because, again, I don't know what money was back then. I was like, I didn't know how much money it was. I was like, when they did the Turner thing, I was like, won't he just ask to keep WCW? Like, because they didn't want WCW. I was like, well, take all the rest of Turner Broadcasting. I'll keep WCW and keep running it. That would have been like ideal, because he made a lot of money from the sale of it. So it probably would have been no skin off him. But he had, I don't know, had started having health issues. I didn't know when the health issues started because he passed away from dementia. But yeah, that was like, but it ended up working out anyway, as far as, this show probably doesn't exist if Ted Turner decides to keep WCW on his own and keep it open, because probably no need for it, because he had so much money he could have funded WCW to 100 years past his death. He had a lot of money. So but he had a very fascinating life, and everyone that I know, every story that I've heard, and I saw a personal story from a friend on here, is that he was rich, but if you talked to him, you wouldn't know he was rich. He was just very down to earth, never just like, that kind of stuff with throwing his money around and throwing his, like, I'm that important kind of thing. He was a big part of my life. I mean, I grew up on Turner. I grew up on TBS. grew up on. I remember watching westerns with my dad on TV growing up, and then during the week at 5 o'clock in the morning, they would show Looney Tunes, the old Bugs Bunny cartoons on TNT.
Yeah,
they were just having content, and like so, TBS TNT didn't have a lot of properties they owned, but they owned Star Wars. Oh my God, how much Star Wars came, how much time they played the complete trilogy. Like, it would be days that they would just play the trilogy, like, twice in a row, and like straight into WCW Saturday Night or whatever wrestling show was on. So, no, Ted Turner was like my first big name. Like, I knew Ronald Reagan was the president, and I knew Ted Turner, as far as I knew, was the richest man in the world. I heard about Donald Trump years later, but Ted Turner was the name I knew. His name was on the channels that I watched. So it was sad. He was 87, so he lived a good life, and he had dementia. Now, yes. I will tell you, Floyd, this is just from a Floyd perspective. If I ever find out I have dementia, I'm opting out. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. It just seems like I take pride in my life is my relationships I've built with people and my memories, right? Those both go away when you have dementia. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible disease. So, that part was sad, but he did live a long life and an excellent life to a lot of people. And yes, he was the reason we had the Monday Night Wars. So shout out to Mr. Ted Turner, R.I.P.
Yes. Rest in peace to billionaire Ted. We moved right into the opening match, which is the AEW Continental Championship Eliminator match between Jon Moxley and Juice Robinson of the now returned Bang Bang Gang with the Guns. Obviously, we didn't get to touch on it from last week, but the Guns are back.
Colton is back.
Yeah, so we get Colton back, reunited with Austin. So love to see it. So
yeah, and speaking of the Guns, friend of the show, Miss Laura, Laura Lee, our friend of the show, actually sold a shirt that she designed to the Guns.
Such a cool thing right there. Like, that's always a cool little thing to see, like, your design on shop.com like that.
Yeah, so that is kind of awesome. He said he was going to have it up there Wednesday. It's not up yet. When it is up, we will be sharing it from our page, and I expect everybody to buy it. We don't sell shirts. We don't have a Patreon. We don't do any of that. But when we post this shirt and you listen to the show, go ahead and drop the money on it. Mm-hmm. We get nothing from it. We get nothing from it. Just want to support my friend.
Totally. But yeah, the match, obviously, I like the fact that the commentators brought up the history of the two guys between their stuff that they had in New Japan. And it was a really solid match to open things up. I felt like just under 15 minutes it went. And yeah, I like the physicality of it. They're teasing a few things though too, because I wanted to mention that after the match, it looked like at one point during the night we saw Mr. Jon Moxley go to kind of shake Marina Shafir's hand and missed at one point later in the night, which was something that I saw people sharing, and I was like, interesting stuff a little bit. But the match itself was pretty strong. I found it very funny with the point where I was not expecting a moment where Mox was going to flex to the crowd and then immediately get power slammed by Juice. It was a very interesting moment to see him like basically do an MJF spot where he like mocks to the crowd and then gets comeuppance for it. But yeah, Juice was doing some really good stuff. It's been great to see him just kind of get back into momentum. Juice looked like he was going to go ahead and lay in a punch and then gets bit in the mouth. But eventually he gets bulldog choked, put out of pasture, and Moxley gets the victory and as he passes out. But yeah, it was a solid, strong Continental Championship eliminated match to open things up. Mox would then make an appearance later in the night as well. So yeah, solid stuff.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I just thought this was a great physical match. It looked like it could be, other than Juice dressing a little different, it could look like it could have been right out of New Japan. So, yeah, Juice, like, people forget, there was a time He was the U.S. champion in New Japan. It looked like they were going to do something with him, and it never ended up working out. So, yeah. So, we'll see that.
We then saw the wild video package that we saw of the training process of the Death Riders, which I thought was a crazy segment. Because, I mean, we got fucking Will Ospreay basically holding up Wheeler Yuta while he does sit-ups on his back, neck, and head as he's trying to hold it up. And then in the background, Marina Shafir is just repeatedly kicking Jon Moxley in the chest. And he's just like, both men are on the floor as this is happening. And they're just basically showing all these training sessions and these guys. Like, they're really hammering in with the Death Riders, just their level of, like, commitment to the craft, their commitment to just, like, be battle tested and tougher than anybody else on the roster. But as they go through, obviously, Ospreay's journey from Japan and all that kind of stuff, and they're both on the floor, and Moxley asks Ospreay, have you ever heard of the concept of death ground, which is basically standing on ground from which you cannot leave? It's do or die, because that's where you're at now if you don't get your head and neck right. That was the whole purpose of what they were doing the thing with Wheeler Yuta with. So he's like, I could still have a career in AEW and hang out like the posers, but, you know, you could have all that if you want it, but I know that's not what you want, because this is the hardest 1%. It's going to be hard. Nothing else exists but what is right in front of you right now. And Moxley then tells him to lie on his back, get some neck stretching from Marina Shafir, and then Pac immediately gets in front of the camera and is like, you know what, you've seen enough. Like, he's literally just going to get his neck stretched by Marina Shafir, and Pac's like, nope, you've seen enough.
So, to this, I will say this. So, my boy Sam Brown, AEW Match Guide, hit me up, and he's like, what do you think of the storyline? I was like, I don't really understand it, but I'm going to wait. Because
we're still very early on to the point of the Death Riders kind of taking Ospreay in under their wing.
Yeah, so I was like, I am going to let it play out. Why? Because Tony Khan, in my past, has rewarded me for letting stuff pay out. So I'm going to let it play out. Now, let's just say if it was somewhere else, I'm not going to even say where the somewhere else is. I might not let it play out because they've disappointed me in the finales of their stories. But Tony Khan, he delivers. AEW, they deliver. So I'm going to let it play out. Not going to say anything negative about it because like, it feels like one of those things you could hate at the beginning and end up loving at the end. So I'm going to hedge my bets and just not say anything negative, and also make it clear, this is the nuanced opinion, I don't really understand why Will Ospreay needs the Death Riders. This dude is multiple time wrestler of the year, IWGP champion, like literally one match from main eventing. I'm like, if you're talking about in the line of the story, he was one match from main eventing All In last year.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
yeah, it's kind of like we're not in a situation where, I mean, obviously we know Will came back from his surgery and everything like that, and he came back from, I think that's the biggest thing that they're trying to push for, was the fact that he was wrestling himself into the ground and it was still feeling the effects of that neck injury, which him being taped up and everything like that. I get that part, but I feel like it wasn't presented nearly as well as it could have been to really sell that point that like Ospreay has been building up the fact that he's back, but he's not 100% yet.
Yeah.
So if that was really, but I feel like if you do that, then Ospreay comes back and he immediately like loses and all that kind of stuff and like is struggling, but he was winning matches when he came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's what I said. I was just going to be like, let me go ahead and just let it play out. I'm just going to wait before I say anything. Before I say anything negative, I'm going to see what happens there.
Yes. We then go ahead into Orange Cassidy versus Dax Harwood in a double Jeopardy match where the World Trios Champion and the World Tag Team Champion were facing off against one another.
So I'm on the phone with JR, and he's like, Dax is going to win this match. And I laugh audibly.
Yeah.
Because we've discussed this on the show. Dax does not win singles matches.
He does not. He's won
one singles match on the AEW TV. And that was against Cash.
Yes.
Every other one he's lost. There you go. I laughed when he said that. I was like,
or JR. He picked a fight. He picked a bad fight, that one.
I was like, are you trying to FTR explain me? No. I was
like, what do you think?
I was like, I'm telling you, he's won one match. He loses to everybody.
The spot that I loved, especially in this match, was early on where Dax was trying to lay those stiff chops in, and Orange Cassidy has his hands in his pockets and is in the corner, and basically just proceeds to like bat him away with his hands. He's just like, yeah, don't slap me. And then that pissed Dax off big time and got like him right into his face. Stokely got in there to get some work on Orange Cassidy's hand. What they were really focusing in on his hand in this match, and slammed it into the announce table. That was the big story of this match, was basically them trying to really take away the orange punch. Dax tried to jokingly do the hands in the pockets kicks against Orange Cassidy to show some disrespect, but Orange Cassidy was not going to take that lying down. What was interesting with this match, too, was the fact that not only was it just the singles match, but basically everybody from the match that would main event Collision was down here for this. Like, the Conglomeration were obviously showing their support, too, but Edge and Christian was there. The Young Bucks were there. You had Tommaso Ciampa there. Basically, everybody that was involved in the 10-man tag was down there, and it was a very interesting sight as that was taking place. But eventually, Orange Cassidy is able to roll up Dax Harwood, and as soon as the match finishes, then there's just pure chaos. Like, they get the victory, and they brawl in the middle of the ring, and then the best part is just where Rocky Romero basically eventually finds himself up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, because he's in the middle with all the baby faces who all get a shot in there. And the biggest spot of the night is when Christian runs up and just kicks him in the gonads, and it's a lovely, lovely stuff. So it was the match. The match was good, and the moment with they beating up Rocky Romero got the crowd excited. It was solid.
Christian was amazing because he lines it up. Edge hits the spear, or Cope hits the spear. He lines it up like he's about to do the spear. It just stops and kicks him in the dick. And I was like, yep. Because he's a dick, and that's funny.
And also because his hand is still taped up and everything.
Yes. So this promises two people from Conglomeration get a tag team title match against FTR, so they get to lose to FTR because, FTR is better than everybody. But no, I just thought this was really fun. I thought that singles Dax is a little different. He hits hard. It was fun. And him versus OC, Dax is super serious. OC's not serious. I love that played out in it. And dude, I don't know. I am 100% biased. 100%. Not even claiming to be impartial. I think Dax Harwood has the best pile driver in wrestling.
It's pretty damn good, dude. I can't think of many other people.
Yeah, I truly do. I just think, like, if he was a singles wrestler, that should be his finisher.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
We then go to Chris Jericho being interviewed backstage with Renee Paquette, talking about how he was feeling after being beat down by the Demand last week backstage. And he's like, time for talk is over, but I don't want to fight backstage. So he takes the microphone and walks directly out into the crowd of people, firing everybody up. He's like, I'm done with all the bullshit. Ricochet needs to come out face-to-face, man-to-man with me right now. So he comes out. He has Toa Leona and Bishop Khan flanking him from behind. It makes it look like he's going to come out by himself, but then they slowly follow behind. Eventually, Ricochet's like, I tried to warn you to leave, but you couldn't hear anything over all the fans. I tried to warn you to get out of here. And Jericho's like, I can't hear you. There's too many booing fans right now. But he's like, you know what? Basically, I've already taken your finisher, the Lion Salt and the Rick Assault now, and everything like that. And I've already taken that. Why don't I beat you in your own match that you created 6 years ago? And I'll not only beat you with the Rico Saw, I want to beat you in a Stadium Stampede match. But how on earth would you get 4 people to even join you because nobody likes you? Jericho basically said, I'll find 4 partners. If I can't, I'll beat you all by myself. says bald again and then punches Ricochet and then tries to fight them off. Eventually, the Hurt Syndicate hit the ring. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP even themselves up with Chris Jericho, continuing the fact of like they hate the demand, so they'll team with Jericho. The prospect of getting Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing is intriguing to me because it's a different flavor, a different type of match, and we haven't seen Stadium Stampede in like years. So seeing that in Queens at a tennis arena would be very, very interesting. I'm still not fully sold on this right now. Like, this to me is just kind of, it's a feud that's there. Like, I know Jericho's back and everything like that, and this is the feud to bring Jericho back on TV and everything like that. Personally, it's not really doing anything for me. If people are enjoying it, I'm all for it. But, like, I just am kind of being like, okay, like, I'll sit through the Jericho segment to get to the next thing. Because, like, at this point right now, like, Jericho's not doing anything new to really hook me into why I need to see Chris Jericho in 2026. That's just me. But I'm willing to still see it out. And the prospect of Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing is exciting, but I can't say that I'm like over the moon excited about this match. I will be interested to see who else will be in this along with Hurt Syndicate and Jericho.
So that's the most exciting part to me is who Jericho's going to get for his other two people. And then I think Ricochet has another two people to fill in. I said I am very much, I want it to be Sammy. Sammy, definitely. Because, it's Sammy.
It just makes sense, dude.
And then Ortiz. I would like it to be two members of the old Inner Circle to join him, but they're going to do something better than what I think. But, because, again, you were at the first Double or Nothing, right? Or no?
Yeah. Yes, I was.
Yeah, okay. So we were at the first Double or Nothing, so we're coming back here. And now we're like, okay, the Inner Circle was at the first Dynamite, then Stadium Stampede, of course, exists. It exists because, of COVID, so because they had to do the empty arena thing. So we got all of this history. You feel like Jericho has to go with someone familiar. Pretty sure it's not going to be Jake Hager. Pretty sure it's not going to
be. Maybe not with that dude.
Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure it's not going to be Jake Hager.
Probably not.
But it's going to be fun to watch play out over the weeks. And I've actually liked this. Jericho is like, again, he's putting over Ricochet, and, Ricochet's embarrassing him every week. He's on TV every week. He's still, you can still see that he's Jericho. But, when some older people say, I don't need the top spot, just put me on the show and all that stuff, you generally don't believe them. But it seems like Jericho is clearly in a mid-card feud right now.
Correct.
Not for a title. So it's like, okay, he's just there to help the company, which I've never doubted it. I've never been on the Jericho politics thing, like Jericho buries people. I've always thought that was stupid. I feel like, again, if he's other than, as far as not named Tony Khan, he's probably the most important figure in AEW history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We then had the best part of the entire night, which was the backstage segment with Mina Shirakawa and Harley Cameron, which created the instant image that was saved by many people around the world. Basically, Mina Shirakawa was asked about their match with Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida, and Harley was a little concerned, but Mina was really inspiring her. You need to look inside yourself. Pointed to her, and she's like wake up and get hyped for this match. And then she just rips Harley's shirt off to reveal her just wearing a bra. And she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought you were in your gear underneath the shirt. And she's like, no, don't apologize. I don't care. The wrath is back. And then she just tears off her shirt like Hogan style, just pulling out the goods. And I'm just sitting there being like, yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, what can you say that won't get you canceled? So
I was just going to say, yeah.
Well, so you know what? That happened. Moving on.
Yes, I mean, she's the GOAT. I don't know what to tell you. We then had the International Championship match between the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada against Brian Keith. It was good to see Brian Keith on the show, but the match itself was pretty. This was the most well-endowed match for sure on the card. Barely cracked 10 minutes.
Yeah, Brian Keith did a pretty cool DDT.
I was just gonna say the DDT on the outside was pretty good.
Yeah, and I like his new hair.
Yeah.
I
was just gonna say, it's when he took the hat off, I was like, oh, we've made a change a little bit. Him countering the Rainmaker with a headbutt was a cool little moment too. I thought that was a nice reversal, but Okada made quick work of this pretty much, and then immediately Callis gets on the microphone and gives the mic to Okada, and he says how he's coming for the AEW World Title, bitch.
Yes. I saw that, and I was like, oh, cool. We're getting Darby versus Okada. I didn't know when it was coming, but I knew we were getting it. Brian Keith and Big Bill's tag team is called Paid in Full on ROH, and I just thought that was a really cool name. I just assumed someone would have already had that name, so I thought that was a pretty cool name.
For sure. There was a quick little backstage segment with the Jet Kevin Knight with Speedball Mike Bailey, hyping him up for his world title match against Darby Allin, because they're going to be Jet 2 belts. And we then go and have a backstage segment from Will Ospreay being mentioned from Samoa Joe. And it's very odd because, it's like Will Ospreay is being recruited by now the Ops. So, like, he's working out with the Death Riders, but now Samoa Joe and the Ops want Will Ospreay. They want his work, like, him to be in their group. And I'm like, first of all, like, if we're just being straight up right now, like, yes, Will Ospreay is one of the top stars in AEW right now. But if I'm talking just kayfabe-wise, why do you want a guy coming off of a severe neck injury?
Because they know what he could be. And Samoa Joe can attach himself to Will Ospreay's greatness and use that to have not only one, but the second champ to represent the Ops, which is great. But like I said, my question has never been, why do people want Will Ospreay?
I understand that.
Like, why does Will Ospreay want these people? He's even already in a gang in New Japan. And, I
was just going to say, like, a couple weeks ago, we saw him with his whole fucking United Empire crew go after the Death Riders. And that led into, it was Blood and Guts, right?
Yeah. Saw him on a New Japan show, and Caleb Newman had him give the hidden blade to Shingo Takagi to show his loyalty to the United Empire. So I just thought that was pretty cool. So he has like two different stories going on in two different companies. I dig it, but they're going to clash at some point. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. We then go into the tag team match between Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander versus Mina Shirakawa and Harley Cameron. Thought this match was pretty okay. Like, I wasn't like over the moon with it. They're kind of like teasing a little bit of a friendship breakup with Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida, with her accidentally taking a knee to the face. There was a moment where I think Mina literally like got a boot right to the face off of a moonsault, and like a boot went straight into her mouth, and I was like, fucking ow. That shit looked like it hurt. Yeah, and it's like so Shida was suplexed by Statlander into Mina, who is like slide in between the top turnbuckle and the middle turnbuckle, and literally her foot went right into her face, and I was like, that shit looked like it fucking hurt. Chris, I felt like looked the best in this match for the most part. Shida accidentally knees Chris in the face. Harley looks like she's going to be able to try to maybe do something to capitalize on it. But eventually they get the win by pinning Harley. And Chris isn't too happy. She's kind of still like, this bitch just knee me in the goddamn face. So, yeah. It was fine. It was a good moment to like get. I'm trying to figure out exactly where we're leading for Chris still. I'm happy that we were getting Sheeta more consistently because I still think she's great. I'm just hoping, man. I need I feel like Harley's lost so much juice recently, so I'm hoping that eventually we can get her kind of back into a prominent picture in the AEW Women's Division because I feel like she's kind of fallen a little bit, especially now with she's with Mina now, but like Willow's kind of off and doing her own thing with being the TBS champion. So like, I don't know. Like I kind of walked away with this wanting more from all of this.
So I don't know what's going on with Tony Storm or whatever, but it does feel like the women's division, like there was a big story planned for Tony Storm and she's missing because it does feel like the women's division is kind of.
Well, because we're missing, not only are we missing Tony Storm, but we're missing Mercedes Moné. Like we're missing two big time players in the women's division. Yeah. And it feels like because those two are no longer on TV at the moment, we've kind of gone back to the women's division of old with AEW where we get one match on Dynamite and one storyline that is being booked for the women's division. And I'm just kind of like it's not the case truly because, again, Tekla is doing amazing stuff too. So, like, she's been great. So, like, she's been a good spot. And the Brawling Birds are still, like, doing some good stuff too. But I feel like a lot of the juice in the women's division is gone because of the fact that your big hitters are not on the show at the moment.
Yes, and if only they had a former AEW world champion that at a time was a big draw and also has a degree in dentistry, that would be awesome. You know,
I mean, if you needed a shot in the arm in the women's division just to be able to do something to fill the time for a while, where without Mercedes and Tony, you bring Britt back, but it just seems like we're once again we're screaming a fruitless battle.
Yes, because they brought Camille back, nothing. They just brought her back, she lost. They brought Anna Jay back, she lost, gone. Mm-hmm. And it's just like,
oh, you have no idea how much I'm holding myself back over the fucking clown. Like, you have no idea. Like,
oh, your boy Jack Perry? Oh, okay.
Fuck it, going after Sean Ross. Like, I understand the whole concept of, like, going after quote-unquote wrestling journalists because most people aren't wrestling journalists who say they are. They're just people with Twitter accounts. But Sean's one of the few people that actually do good, decent work.
Yes.
And, like, I truly believe Jack wouldn't have said shit if Zelina didn't say it earlier, which I understand her reasoning to be upset. He's still doing his job, and this is just how sports works, honey.
Yeah, so this is my
here's the situation in that regard. When somebody gets traded in the NFL, they don't announce themselves that they've been traded. The reporters announce that they've been traded.
I will tell anyone this, and I've said this for years. If you think the dirt sheets are shit and all they do is lie, why don't you come out on your social media, because everyone has a social media, everyone has a following, and just tell people what's going on with you.
Bring the receipts.
Because the thing about it is, and he's like, you don't deserve to know. That's cool. That's great. I love that you have that opinion. I actually agree. I actually agree with you to a point that, we don't, that it's your business to keep private. But in lieu of having the information, social media is just going to make up shit. So people like Sean Ross Sapp, he's talking to someone that he thought he could trust.
Well,
right?
And again, it's supposed to was her representation.
Yes.
For years prior, and obviously she's doing her own thing now, so they're not her representation anymore. But that was his contact up until that point where they're not working with her anymore. But if you go down your Rolodex of contacts, like sometimes, like you're like, oh, you're not tied to that person. Well, this is the contact I have, so this is the information I have.
Wrestlers, stop lying. If you're a wrestler and you treat the media like actual media and give the information out there, you can control when it comes out there. But if you just say, I'm not saying anything, I'm not doing anything, I'm not saying anything, people are going to make shit up.
The way you control the narrative is by actually controlling the narrative. And contributing to the narrative.
Yeah, the Lena Vega stuff, and I love Zelina Vega. Understand?
I do too.
So I'm not really going at her personally. No. But the idea that you work in the entertainment industry and you somehow was supposed to control when people found out you got fired, it does not work like that in the entertainment industry. Players find out they get, if you're comparing it to real sports, players find out they get traded on, Twitter. Like they didn't know they were getting traded on Twitter. If you're talking about entertainment, people find out their shows got canceled on social media.
It doesn't mean that it's right. Absolutely, you can absolutely be you can be upset about it, no doubt about it. But like, this is just what the industry is.
That's what media is. It's like it is what it is. It's like, yeah, and I understand why she was. I understand why she was upset. Literally, her whole household got fired. I'm not going to be in the best mood to have a conversation after that happens. Sure. I am one of the people, like when someone says, oh, she's crazy, I was like, no, I completely forgive her. And they were like, well, why would you say that? I was like, just imagine if you and your wife got fired on the same day. Absolutely. And then somebody else reported that. How would you react?
In regards to Anna Jay too, like Sean specifically said, if Anna wants to put all my information and like say, no, you're a fucking idiot and you're wrong, like have the conversation. Like it's very easy to control the narrative yourself instead of just like, and I'm not even really mad at Anna. Jack is a fucking clown because the dude wants to hide behind his girlfriend and do fucking like Undertaker neck poses and say, go get a real job when he fakes fights for a living, you fucking dipshit.
Okay, hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I could see how a lot of wrestlers would take what you just said very offensively, not named
I'm aware, but you really understand get a real job is such a dumb diss from a professional wrestler. And I'm not saying that it's a job that you should be embarrassed to have. I respect the hell out of everybody who gets into this industry because it's not an easy industry to get into, and you have to be a certain kind of crazy to be a pro wrestler. But to say, go get a real job to a journalist when you are a wrestler, like, what are we talking about here? Okay? What are we talking about here?
Hey, you stood on business. I will say this, all are real jobs. You said what you said. Hey, the thoughts expressed by Austin Sumowitz are his and his alone, and not the thoughts of Floyd Johnson or all things elite.
If you want to tell him to shut up, I'm fine with it. If you want to tell him to like get your nose out of our business or keep my girlfriend's name out of your mouth, you can do that. Get a real job is a shitty diss.
And I just want everyone to know that he's like, what? Austin sounds like he's getting hot. He really hates Jungle Boy. Austin is the media. He literally works in the media. So just like a wrestler might feel insulted by what he said, he definitely feels insulted by what Jack Fury said as a person in the media. So I'm just throwing it out there. Two sides to every story. I'm over here like, hey. No, but all right, moving on.
I'm stirring the pot.
I'm not trying. Hey, I'm not trying to get somebody beating me up over something you said. I didn't say the shit. Okay, I'm not trying to get Brian. I see this shit happen with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer. They were like, Meltzer said, and they go off for 5 minutes, and I listened to the show, and I know that was a Brian Alvarez rant. It wasn't even a Dave Meltzer rant.
Correct.
That happens so much. Like, I can't believe Meltzer said that. He didn't. Like half the time.
I said it.
Yes,
I said it.
Floyd did not say this. Jungle Boy, if you want to fight somebody, fight him. I'm over here. I'm over here minding my own business. Okay. All right. Let's go.
All right. Moving on. We go ahead. We have the main event match. First of all, there's a good promo from backstage with Swerve Strickland, basically talking about how he was coming after Power, and Power is controlling who eats, who sleeps, from the most dangerous man to the most violent to the most wanted. And he has Bandito's poster, and he wants it all. Renee talked to Bandito afterwards, and Brody King, and Bandito's response was that he was ready for Swerve and that he's easy to find. And Brody then proceeded to say that Bandito has this, but Swerve, it's one thing to mess with him and another to mess with his friends. And then we go into the main event of the Dynamite portion of the show. Darby Allin, the AEW World Champion, defending his title against the TNT Champion, the Jet Kevin Knight. Great match. And I'm seeing a lot of responses in regards to Darby Allin as AEW World Champion. Obviously, after he beat MJF in 2 minutes and 14 seconds to win the AEW World Championship at Spring Breakthrough, he has had now 3 AEW World Championship matches since that, and he's defended his title against Tommaso Ciampa, Brody King, and now Kevin Knight. All of the matches have been fucking...
Darby Allin is a title shot slut, okay? He's a title... Yeah. He just gives it to anybody. Anybody that wants a shot, they get it. I'm sorry. I prefer my people more like the previous champion to make people earn it. You got to take me out on at least 3 dates before you get this, okay? But old title shot slut out here. Darby Allin and giving it to everybody. But guess what? Not only does he give it to everybody, he gives it to them real good. Because this match, again, I think this might be one of the best string of TV matches that has happened in AEW. Because it's just like, it's just banger after banger after banger. But I can say this belt has never felt more like the TNT belt than ever. It's like too many title shots.
Because of all the title defenses.
Yeah, too many title shots, to me, lowers the prestige of getting a world title match. Like, it's supposed to be special when you get a world title match. And he's like, here's a title match. Here's a title match. Here's a title match. And you're pretty confident none of these people are going to win. Which is another thing. So, I don't know. All right.
And I understand that in that regard, but I would also, and I told you this before we even started the show too, is that we kind of went into this knowing when Darby Allin beat MJF for the world title, that this title reign was not long for this world. Yeah. That this was a title reign that was going to last a month or two, and Darby was going to like go full steam ahead defending the world championship, having matches against every and anybody. And then he would lose the belt, and then we would set up for the eventual title feud that would lead into All In London. And again, I'm into this. I knew that was kind of the idea, but at the same time, I'm also like, give me all the title matches with Darby that I could possibly get in that time frame at this point, because I mean, the matches have been fucking really damn good. It was the best part of the Dynamite portion of this show by a long slide. Him and Kevin Knight absolutely bodied each other and were doing some great stuff. The amazing moment where Kevin Knight springboarded off of the top rope and clotheslined Darby on the announce tables, and they both like fly over top of it, was an insane spot. And you know, Darby being able to do the coffin drop while he's hanging over the top rope is a wild spot, which led to the second coffin drop where he got the victory. You had Sting come out to celebrate at the end of it all. So again, match was awesome. So I'm fine with it feeling like, you know, open title matches at all times for the World Championship. Because again, I don't even know if after Darby loses this championship, I don't know if he ever wins it again. I would love it to be the case because Darby's my guy. I love Darby. But I don't know if he even gets to this point again. So I'm at this point like, you know, ride it until the fucking wheels come off.
Hey, you know, as long as you understand that, I was just like I said, it just, the world title's like, every week we get a world title match. That's supposed to be the TNT title. That's not supposed to be like Willow. Sure. Willow's just giving title shots to everybody. I'm fine with that. It's the TBS title. It's the TNT title. The world title, you got to earn that. You got to beat up somebody to get that title shot. You got to have a contract. You have to have something. Darby's like, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Big guys, small guys,
But I would
black
also
guys,
argue too,
white guys.
I would also argue too that like they would have just labeled these matches eliminator matches if they like otherwise if they weren't actual real title matches, and the match outcome would still be without be without a doubt.
So I did. I forgot which friend said this to me, that this is really showing the essence of how much Darby isn't like MJF. MJF makes you jump through 6 hoops to get a title shot. Darby Allin, all you got to do is ask. Let's go. So this is more doing a compare and contrast to, MJF and Darby Allin. Now, it does feel like that Cody, remember Cody was doing the TNT title thing, but then he just got weaker and weaker and weaker, and then Brody ran through him. So I don't know if that's what's going to happen with Darby, or they're going to have a real match, but I am looking forward to it whenever it happens.
For sure. So that ended the Dynamite portion of the show. We then immediately after Darby won the match, we had Okada... before that, MJF comes out and talks about how much this Reign of Terror has sucked. I've had enough. You need to give me my rematch. Darby was like, no. If you want a shot, you need to put something on the line. MJF was like, okay, you know what? Fine. I'll put my scarf on the line. Darby's like, no. Like, all right, I can't believe I'm even doing this, but I'll put the Dynamite Diamond ring on the line. Darby says no. And he's like, everyone loves money. I'll give you, Darby, $1 million if I get my rematch. And he's like, Darby's like, Max, I used to be homeless living under a bridge. Your money's no good here. And Max is literally just like, what the fuck do you want? He's like, something you hold so desperately in your life, something you're willing to fly 15 hours to Turkey to get sewn onto your skull. I'm talking about your hair, you most vain piece of shit I've ever met. I'm talking about your damn hair. Max is like absolutely beside himself. The crowd starts chanting bald, and he's like, there's going to be a contract signing next week, Max, title versus hair. If you don't show up, you're never getting an AEW championship match. You have an answer? And Max has no answer. He's speechless, walks out and leaves. And then Okada comes out and then proceeds to say, next week it's you and me for your world title. And Darby goes, it's on, bitch.
In the real world, Okada just gives him the old Rainmaker and becomes the new champion next week. But I don't think that's going to work out that way. But no, I really enjoyed this hair versus title match at Double or Nothing in New York, in MJF's home area. He is from Long Island. It won't be on Long Island. But no, I think that's dope. Let's do it. Bald MJF would be hilarious. Like
they're already tweeting out pictures of bald MJF on social media, and Max is losing it.
Even the actor Kevin Nealon, who has been angling for a match with Danny DeVito on AEW TV, he even retweeted, and MJF said, "No, not you too." And I thought that was pretty hilarious. Kevin Nealon's actually going to be in Oklahoma City on my birthday.
Shout out.
Yeah, so I might actually go see his show because he'll be here. This is what we're getting into. I always thought if MJF did a hair match, it would be Vince Mystico for the mask versus hair, but it's going to be title versus hair, and I think that's creative because I didn't know what Darby was going to ask for, and that I thought that was really cool. Also, it puts a little doubt because I just assumed MJF was going to just win the title back. I'm not as so sure now because I have always called, if you listen to the show, I have always called MJF what? The Lex Luthor of AEW. If you shave him bald, he's definitely the Lex Luthor of AEW.
No doubt about that. That would fit just basically perfectly. It feels like.
And dude, just how angry he would be and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be so. I think that would make for very compelling television with MJF, who, again, I think a curtain to curtain, best wrestler in the world. So, yeah.
Yeah. We got a health update on Ospreay with Doc Samson backstage where Ospreay was by him and basically said, even though Ospreay went to Japan and wrestled, he wasn't cleared in AEW, but he still went to wrestle in Japan, but he did not do any further damage and actually may have improved. So whatever treatment he's doing, he should keep doing. And Ospreay said he's going to be getting an MRI later this week, and if he's cleared, he will be cleared. And Renee Paquette asked Ospreay basically about training with the Death Riders. He's like, I'm not a Death Rider. I don't want to be, but sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. So kind of just, again, leaning into the fact of like him training with the Death Riders is going to make him a better wrestler and make him more battle tested for wrestling post his surgery and everything like that.
Yes.
Again, wish it was portrayed a little bit better so that way you could kind of sell that more and make sure people realize like this is why he's doing what he's doing with the Death Riders.
So this one, because I try to give my thoughts on what I was thinking at the time. This is where it's started to clear up a little bit for me. Because Doc Samson said his neck's already getting better. So they're saying, oh, because you're working with Death Riders, your neck is getting better. Like, yes, really quick. I'm like, do you think that would really happen in 2 weeks? No, but we're watching a TV show, so ignore, reality. And that was the first time I started seeing those. Like, okay. I still don't know where it ends. I still think it might end up being Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley for the main event and All In. Ospreay's gonna have to be Mox at some point, but when it happens, I don't know. I love this right now. I love AEW. Like, I always love AEW, but I specifically love AEW right now. I have no idea what the main event at All In is going to be. I assume Will Ospreay is going to be in it.
I agree.
That's it. That's all I got. I don't know who's going to be across from the ring from him. That's literally all I got for All In. And we are, three, almost 4 months out. And it's just like, when I can't guess what's next, that's when I enjoy wrestling most.
Yes.
I know a lot of people out there, that didn't make sense. They'll guess, and then if they don't do it, it didn't make sense, so it sucked. I'm one of those people. I guess, and I'm wrong, and that makes me enjoy it more. Because, hey, I'm watching a TV show. You don't want to know everything that's going to happen. So right now, I feel kind of out in the dark. And you know what? And when I say that, if you want to tell me what you think's going to happen, great. But if you have found some source and you want to tell me what you know is going to happen, I don't want to hear it. I spend 2 hours watching the show on Wednesday, 2 hours watching the show on Saturday. If you tell me what's coming, I want to fight you. Because, takes away from my joy. So, anyway, moving on. Moving on. It's just the idea that I have no idea what's going on right now. I have no idea what the matches is. Like, we're doing FTR and Kofi and Christian in New York, and it's like, I have no idea who's going to win that match. I know who I think's going to win, but I can't say that with 100% certainty. And understand, I am the walking spoiler alert. I mean, my friend Tyler says he doesn't listen to the show because all year last year I was guessing correctly. And he's like, I don't listen to the show because you're just a spoiler. Well, shit, I don't know what's going on, so I can't spoil anything for you.
There you go. We then had the first match of the collision portion of the show, which was Roosh versus AR Fox. Well, Speedball Mac Bailey, versus AR Fox.
This was a fun match that I didn't care about.
Yes, I was just going to say, it was fun. Two guys. Well, first of all, it's cool that we saw AR Fox on TV.
Shout out to AR Fox.
In a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a minute.
Dude, it just feels like you could throw him in a tag team with someone and get some miles out of it. The dude is so fucking talented, just naturally good. It just feels like you could just throw him with someone, put him with Skyflight or put him with whatever. I don't know. It just seems like you should be using AR Fox more.
He wrestles so smooth and so well. And every time we see him on Collision or whatever the case may be, he always puts on great matches. So I just feel like, you could put him in a group. Yeah. You could put him in a trio. It doesn't matter. I feel like you would just feel like you'd get him in a spot where he could do some great stuff. He wrestled well against Speedball.
Here's a weird comp. I prepare the AR Fox experience to the Ray Phoenix experience.
Yeah.
He's going to do a combination or a moveset in a way you've literally never seen anyone do it before. And I always come out impressed with AR Fox, and I always come out with this thought that I'm expressing. Why don't they use him more?
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time, it's just like, this dude should be on your TV often, just because he's just super entertaining. And he doesn't need a story because he's so good at putting on matches that it just, it comes together anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Speedball got the victory. We then had Willow basically talking about how much the TBS Championship means to her after having 9 successful defenses of the TBS Championship. And she takes a lot of pride in being the face of TBS and says she's going to continue to carry that legacy and take on all challengers, and wants basically to defend that legacy every single week. Pac then also showed up on a backstage segment congratulating Darby Allin for his victory, but basically said, remember the thorn that will never leave your side. We're 2-1 in singles competition. I hold the lead. So that should earn me a title shot, and I want one. So I'm the mountain you'll never truly conquer. So if you can do it, so can I. So prove me wrong. And we then got the confirmation that this got booked for Fairway to Hell.
Yes. Pac versus Darby Allin. Sign me up.
It's going to be a damn good match inside of a damn giant golf simulator. That show is going to be so wild to watch just for the whole setup thing. Basically, I want Pac to throw Darby into the golf simulator and see if it registers as a shot.
Yes. That's definitely going to happen. Like, I didn't think of that, but you're like, oh yeah, that's going to happen. Like,
it's going to be
yeah.
So I want it so bad. We then had Jamie Hayter go up against Sky Blue in a singles match. They wrestled pretty solid. I felt like it was a lot of it was in a commercial break, I will say. So we didn't get to see a ton of it outside of like picture-in-picture. The Avalanche Haterade was a good finish. It felt like it could have sold a little bit better, but it was a decent enough thing. We then had Tekla and Julia Hart watching from the crowd as well. And she, after she got the win, was inviting the entire Triangle of Madness to basically come inside, and they were like, not tonight. So
absolutely. And that's what you don't just give it up. You make people earn it.
yeah, absolutely.
Darby title shot slut. That needs to be a shirt because he's a title shot slut.
Yes. Don Callis then stood by Okada as he got ready to challenge for the AEW World Championship, and also said how Mark Davis was going to crush Jack Perry for the National Championship at Fairway to Hell, and how Takeshita then basically said Okada shouldn't have to be worried about the world title. He needs to be worried about defending the international title against me at Double or Nothing. And this segment with how many belts got mentioned just continues to like, it is, I get the joke. It is too many belts. I get the joke. But like, it is funny how like the entire Don Callis family brought up like 4 different championships that they have and they're chasing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I know. But like at this point, it just feels like it's tradition for AEW to not have a shitload of belts. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I do want to say, and then Don Callis didn't even acknowledge that over the weekend, Andrade defeated Yota Tsuji to become the new, what's the title? The
IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship.
Global Heavyweight Championship this weekend, which is basically the top title an outsider could win or whatever. That's was the Yota Tsuji rules, since he has no championships now. Again, feel like they let this guy beat Takeshita. They did. What the hell is this going on here? Takeshita's run should still be going on in New Japan, but I get it. No, but Andrade, global champion, you know what I mean? It's like AEW represent in New Japan.
There you go. We had a squash match with Roosh beating the shit out of Matty Lowe. So there's that. Jack Perry had his promo package to promote his match with Mark Davis. Him and his bus with Luchasaurus said like he was told it was not about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog, and that Davis is just a big stupid dog. He's like, it doesn't matter. you've already beaten me. It doesn't matter how big or bad Davis is because Davis has already beaten him. I'm at the top of the mountain. If you don't like that, fuck you. And I'm just like, great catchphrase. Put it on a t-shirt right now. This guy prints money.
Your best friend Jack, man. I'm like, dude, I want them to do a StarCast, and I want them to bring back the lunch and dinner with the wrestlers. I would so buy you one for Jack Perry, absolutely. And I'm telling you, I'm surprised. I'm so upset he's not on Cameo because I would definitely have Jack Perry give you a cameo to his biggest fan, Austin Sumowitz. Yes. Yes, no, no, I would definitely do that. And you'd be like, would you pay that much money for a bit? Absolutely.
Absolutely. You gotta feed the bid, dude.
Yes,
at this
absolutely.
point, dude, you gotta feed the bid.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm feeding the bid. So if you didn't do it, I would feel disrespected if you didn't keep the bid going.
Oh, dude. So earlier, and again, this was me having fun with a friend. This is not serious. If you want to clip it or whatever, still it wasn't serious. They were talking about Jack Perry and him going at Sean Ross Sapp, and JR was like, oh, I love how he defended this woman. I was like, what's Jack Perry going to do? I saw him get beat up by an elderly man. There is literally video evidence of him being choked out by an old guy. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Now, and again, that was completely tongue-in-cheek. I know he was trying to be professional in the back. That's probably why he didn't fight back or whatever. But, yeah, I was joking around, and it was just hilarious, and we laughed. Because it's so funny that Jack Perry, one of the most kind of understated people, hell of a professional wrestler.
He's very quiet, honestly.
Yeah. He catches so much shit. Like I couldn't imagine what he said to lead to the person attacking because the dude just doesn't talk. I don't know. What's going on?
And that's kind of why I find it funny because, like I said, I'm not even giving him shit for standing up for Anna Jay. You have every right to do that. Absolutely. It's the fact that when you do stand up for her, you look like a pussy.
Yes, because you.
That's the thing. Even try to be a little bit convincing when you're standing up for your girlfriend is all I'm asking.
Yes.
Because sell it to me why I should be afraid of you.
Yes. Well, I guess no one should. I don't know. Like I said, it's funny. Jack Perry has gotten a lot of time for the amount of time that he was
I wasn't on last week. I had to fill the quota.
For the amount of time. We have talked about him 10 times as much as he was actually on the show.
Correct.
This is amazing.
Yes. I just had to refill the quota. This is just, if I'm on the show, which I am every week, I have to fill the quota. Keep the bit going. We get to the final match of the night, the 10-man tag match between the Young Bucks, the Bang Bang Gang, and the Death Riders, and the Dogs. So I got no other words other than this was a PWG multi-man match. This is what this was. It was a PWG multi-man match.
And that is when you do multi-man matches. Again, I've stated this on the show, but I am going to restate it. I hated multi-man matches. 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. I hated them. This is I did a show called Around the Ring. If you find the old episodes of the show, I'd be covering a show, and it's like, oh, they did a throwaway 6-man tag, and I'd just skip over it. I wouldn't even talk about it. Then AEW existed, and and they brought out this brand of basically PWG multi-man matches because I never watched PWG. I think I may have watched one PWG show ever. So this is new to someone like me, and I am enjoying the hell out of it. And it's just a lot of shit's going to happen, and then someone's going to win. That's pretty much what, how do you describe a multi-man match in AEW? A lot of shit's going to happen. You're probably not going to write it down to cover it all because so much shit's going to happen.
Yes.
And then you'll talk about the finish.
And you're not going to pay attention to who the legal man is in the tag match. You're basically going to go into it being it's not labeled as a tornado tag, but it is a tornado tag because the referee is basically just there to count the pinfall. He's not there to do anything else. He is just a bystander in the carnage and chaos that will take place in the amount of bodies that are in the match. That is PWG multi-man matches. And, of course, with the Young Bucks being in it, they're the kings of these types of matches. So I mean, you had a quadruple suplex early on, and then them throwing the heels in the middle of the circle, and then they do the hokey pokey, and then they do the multi-atomic drop into it, and they bounce off of one another. They do the spot where one buck gets thrown up into a hurricanrana onto Claudio. I still love Clark Connors' spear that he does through the ropes. It's like such a fucking vicious spear. People sell it so well. And he speared Ace Austin and then proceeded to immediately stumble run into the behind the commentator desk and stuff like that. Like, he had so much momentum when he did that. It was my favorite spot of the entire thing. And then, everyone comes in, does their thing, clotheslines into body slams, super kick parties, and eventually Ace Austin gets the win for the squad. And there you go. Yeah. That's kind of how it goes. The babyfaces get the win. People were hoping that I think Jay White would show up, early on. I also love, too, the thing that made this match extra special, too, was that throughout all of the chaos, Jon Moxley was on commentary for it, too.
Yes.
Like, having him call this match specifically, I found very funny, just for him to just try to make sense out of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Jon Moxley is one of the more entertaining guys, because you could tell he tries to call it, 100% straight. And sometimes he's he can't make sense of what he just saw. So, yeah, I love it. I love when he's on there.
Absolutely. But that was AEW Dynamite Collision, the doubleheader that we had for tonight. And, of course, we're going to have AEW Collision Fairway to Hell on Saturday coming from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Matches that we've gotten announced, obviously, AEW World Championship match, Pac versus Darby Allin for the world title. The Divine Dominion will be in action. We're going to get the National Championship match between Mark Davis and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And I think those are and then we also have, that's all the matches that we have announced for it right now, I believe.
Yes. And because it's only 1 hour.
Yes, so I believe that's probably all they can fill in 1 hour.
That's
correct.
all you're going to get in that 1 hour. And I'm looking forward to how they do it. And if you're in the area, West Palm Beach, right? Definitely go ahead and check it out.
I'm interested, like I said, the vibe of the show and just the venue that it's taking place in. I'm just interested to see what it looks like, because I just feel like it could be very, very intriguing, just with the whole concept of them doing it inside of this basically giant golf simulator.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. That is what we have from AEW this week. Now, outside of wrestling, of course, this week was very, very huge news with the amount of releases that took place in the other company, in WWE. So we wanted to touch on that news real quick.
All right, and that's what I wanted to say. So I've heard that it is insensitive to discuss what wrestlers you want or where they want to go afterwards. That's why we saved this to the end of the show and didn't do it at the beginning, because I actually had it as the big news of the week, and we were going to discuss at the beginning of the show, but I realized I wanted to give people that just wanted to hear the AEW stuff an out. So if you don't want to hear us talk about it, this is the perfect time to go ahead and exit. That's what the rest of the show is basically going to be, is us basically discussing who released, do we want them in AEW, that kind of stuff. If you find that shit insensitive, which I definitely respect, you can go ahead and just press stop now, tune in next week. Thank you for listening to All Things Elite. But let's get into it, sir.
Yeah, so basically, slew of releases that took place. The rumor that was going around, basically, or the reports that were going around, was that wrestlers were being asked to take 50% pay cuts, which was the one that led to the biggest surprising release, which I'll just lead off top, was that the New Day got released. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, to be exact. Big E, as of now, is still, I believe, under contract and just doing his not commentary, but more so just like analyst role that he's in right now.
I call him a WWE ambassador.
Basically, at this point, yes. So, but Kofi and Xavier both released, and Kofi, especially in his tweet talking about him leaving, basically really insinuated about the pay cuts, basically like don't take what less of them what you feel like you're worth. So there's that. The other names that were released were Kairi Sane, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, as we mentioned, Santos Escobar, Motor City Machine Guns, the entirety of the Wyatt Six, so Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy, Kaylee Ray, Apollo Crews, Tyra May Steele, Zoe Stark, Jeff Cobb, and Tonga Loa. So
yeah,
basically, we're not going to get into anything in regards to WWE or anything like that, obviously, because this is not a WWE show. But
I will say,
and also we're going to go basically against all the wishes of that one clip that keeps getting shared around of Max Caster about like our roster's already full. Some of that TV time needs to go to me. We're going to see like who out of these releases would we think would fit in AEW that would be interesting to watch is what we're going to be fantasy booking at least.
Correct. And I do want to say this about the 50%. This is me just using my logic as a person that has worked for a long time. The people that are taking 50%, right, are, to me, taking the 50% are they don't feel like they have other options, or they're just super comfortable at work. Like, that's the case. WWE, they don't do house shows anymore. They only work TV. So let's just say if you're not on TV for like a month, you're literally 50%, you're getting 50% of your salary not to work. You know what I mean? So I just think if you think you still have meat on the bone, you still think you have some great matches out there, you still think you have a name that can sell, I definitely see going to it. So we'll start with the group you said, Kofi Kingston and or Kofi, which is his real name, and Xavier Woods, who will be going by his other name, Austin Creed. Now, I want to shout out Mr. Austin Creed, because that's not his real name either, right?
No.
Dude was on Up, Up, Down, Down saying, I am Xavier Wood, a.k.a. Austin Creed. He was getting over his outside of WWE name on WWE.
Yeah.
That dude is, we already know he's smart. We already know he's going for the PhD. But you want to talk about playing the long game. He could start his own gaming channel under the name Austin Creed. Everybody will fucking drop Up, Up, Down, Down because it's not his show anymore. And
Up, Down, Down has not been Up, Down, Down for at least 2 years now. It feels like it's basically like they had already been doing the WWE 2K promotional stuff and everything like that to begin with, and any mobile app or anything like that. They already did those promotional things to begin with, but less and less of the actual like Up, Down, Down content of them just playing whatever video game they wanted vanished. It felt like for years. It became them doing not the Battle of the Brands, the GM mode, but only on the new 2K games, not on the old SmackDown versus Raw games where they originally started doing it. Only on the new ones. So again, it's just more promotion for the current product that's out right now. So like the stuff I fell in love with, like which is like the random bowling videos they did with the Usos, or the Madden tournaments.
Yes, that's when. So I'd always liked the Usos, but Up, Up, Down, Down is where I saw the Usos, and I remember they was doing the oobla, all the painted face and shit, and then they were on the show, and I'm like, why don't they just act like this? I'm like, they came off so much more charismatic on the Up, Up, Down, Down than they ever did on the wrestling show. I was like, so why aren't they acting like this? And then I remember they just come out and they were all wearing one solid color, and then they started cutting a promo different, and I was like, oh, they're just being themselves.
Yes.
That's all that started happening, is they're wildly competitive, loud, excitable people. And that played well. So I just never understood why they just weren't them. And then I got to see that side of them on Up, Up, Down, Down. So, and everything I'm just saying here is why Austin Creed, I think Austin and Kofi combination is the most valuable thing out of the people that are released.
Well, and again, too, the Young Bucks and Kenny are already teasing the fuck out of it right now. Like, they're sharing, like, old, like, references and, like, on this day all these years ago of them playing Street Fighter at conventions and stuff like that. And, you know,
dude,
they're teasing the hell out of it anyway. Like, I mean, they've already said while they were both employed by the other company how much they wanted this to happen and like the mutual respect they have for one another. So I'm absolutely for it. I would still, as much as I love like Kofi and Austin Creed and everything like that, and them going over to AEW, that's the match made in heaven, obviously, out of everybody outside of my opinion, Motor City Machine Guns. But also, like, it's still, to me, like, New Day has always been the three-piece. It's always been with Big E, too. So, and I understand Big E can't wrestle anymore, and as much as we want it to happen, and they tried to find a window to see if it could happen, it doesn't look like it's going to happen again, which I'll never say never in that regard, because I've seen returns from people that I swore would never wrestle again because of injury. So, and Big E's a freaking nature too, so he could absolutely find a way. But
the thing with Big E is he has no desire to wrestle anymore.
Exactly. It seems like he's kind of just
he's done
with it all.
He's done wrestling. He's like, I'm good. I had a great career. I was the world champion. I was multiple tag team champion. I'm good. That's those.
Longest reigning tag team champion too.
Yeah, not That's not me speculating. Those are out of his mouth.
Yes,
this is what he said. So but what I was going to say about Creed is, AEW has AEW games. He's already shown
he could take it over if he wanted to. Yeah, and make it leaps and bounds better than what it is.
He's already shown he can build a channel. So you just give him that. Like I said, that's why they're the most valuable, because he can help you build up a games channel. He can also, they're very entertaining on TV, and they're super entertaining when they're wrestling and in sketches and stuff that they want to do. I know AEW doesn't do a lot of those, but if they want to do them, they can do them. And they're just two highly entertaining men. And again, built-in match with FTR, built-in match with the Young Bucks.
And we have a built-in in-ring live Street Fighter / Tekken match that you can I would absolutely pay for them to just get an Xbox or a PS5, put it dead center in the middle of the ring, and cast it to the Jumbotron to watch them play video games against each other and treat it like it's a world title match. That shit would be so goddamn funny.
See, this is the thought I had. The 2 out of 3 falls match. The first fall is the game. It's Street Fighter.
Yes. Second
fall is a regular tag team match. And the third fall is Kenny Omega versus Austin Creed.
That's a 3 stages of hell match. Yes. Is what that is.
Yeah, and you just do it like that. I just think it would be cool to have a combined video game. And of course the video game wouldn't be worked at all. The rest of the thing would play out. It would be legit. It would be played out. The rest of it would play out based on how the video game goes out. I just think it'd be something that you could do that really, I can't say it's never been done because I don't know. I haven't watched all wrestling, but something I have not heard of being done.
Yes. But outside of those guys, obviously, I'm all in on Motor City Machine Guns finally getting an actual AEW contract and being all elite as opposed to just making a one-off appearance. Because, quite frankly, you need to give me that rematch between Motor City Machine Guns and the Young Bucks from TNA. Like, I need it more than anything in the world. Like, give that shit to me, please. Like, get my Detroit boys in AEW and let's fucking go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Motor City Machine Guns is one of those. And again, this is all thoughts are mine own. Awesome, I think. I like them, but they're both a little long in the tooth.
I agree.
For me, I would only sign them to like a year deal.
I agree.
And I would just build to the big matches. I would not have them wrestle one regular match on like a Dynamite or anything. They'd just be exclusively pay-per-view, exclusively dream matches, exclusively big matches, because not saying they can't go, because they obviously can go, but I would let them be the attraction that they are. I wouldn't try to have them on our weekly TV, except, cutting promos, but I just build the big matches.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I would definitely do with them. So yeah, so both two tag teams, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Motor City Machine Guns, they're both getting our thumbs up from us.
Yes. Is there anybody else specifically that sticks out for you?
Oh, dude, okay. So I love tag team wrestling, but back in the NXT UK days, a little bit of progress. There was this red-headed firecracker, amazing fucking wrestler, and her name was Kaylee Ray. And she went into a coma for a few years. And there's this chick that looks like her named Alba Fire. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. Yeah, she was good, but man, she looked like Kaylee Ray, but she couldn't work like Kaylee Ray. I was a huge Kaylee Ray fan. I thought that chick, dude, if you tell me on this list I get one person or one act, it's Kaylee Ray. I think she steps right into the women's division as good as it is and elevates it because she's a fucking worker. Now, she did what she had to do for a few years. Ain't nobody blaming him. But if I was Tony Khan, the moment I saw the release, the first person I'm calling is Kaylee Ray. She elevates your women's division. She's a bank. She can just wrestle. Just someone that can wrestle really, really well. Her versus Jamie Hayter. Her versus Thekla. Sign me up for it. I'm just a big Kaylee Ray fan. I might be higher than anybody else is that's listening to this show, but that's who I want.
Yeah, Kairi Sane, I feel like is an easy pick too, just because she was one of the more shocking ones of her getting released. So her being in AEW, I think would be an also big improvement to the the women's division.
And it's an immediate shot in the arm to your main event picture. Because if you bring someone like Kairi Sane in, you're pretty much bringing her in, and she's going to be in a title match fairly quickly. Correct. So especially with Tony being out, the top end of your women's division needs some help. Kairi Sane.
Yeah. And her wrestling the other Joshis, too, would be just really fun to watch, too.
Yeah,
just seeing her in an American company wrestle the other Joshis.
I think she's Kairi Hojo before she got to WWE. I wasn't 100% sure on that.
Yeah. Now, $1 million question. Do you take another swing on Malachi Black?
Hell no.
I was just going to say, especially considering the stuff that people are saying about him.
I don't know if it's possible. I mean, for me, and again, everything's personal. Hell no. I want to sign his wife, and I would put her with Andrade because they had $1 million act in NXT, and I don't know why anybody ever broke that act up.
Sure.
So I would sign Zelina Vega, put her with Andrade so quickly. It wouldn't even be like, and literally, you don't even have to make it romantic. Say this was $1 million partnership that worked somewhere else, and now they come back to be partners in bringing their act to AEW. There's a storyline. There's so many different ways that can happen, but I doubt she signs with AEW without her husband. I don't know if that's true. Don't know if that's true at all. They might be separate in that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you saying Floyd, your dream scenario, I would just sign Zelina.
Okay.
I mean, unless unless Mr. Tommy End, aka has there's a lot of internet rumors out there. I was just gonna say
that's the stuff that I'm like I don't even want to touch it just because there's a lot of rumors, and Alistair or Malachi has very much kept to himself in this regard and has just let the speculation be what it is. Speculation.
But let me just say this. Jim Ross, who works at AEW and was backstage. So I think you can take his word for it, right? That's not media, right?
He's basically all but not a promoter, but all but a producer.
Yeah, for AEW, said he thought Alistair, Malachi, whatever Black you all talked about, thought AEW was a step down and was beneath him. Unless that attitude has drastically changed, you don't sign him back.
Sure. Well, and then also too that mindset means that he doesn't even come back because again, if it is beneath him, why would you come back for a second time? Yeah, well, so like then it's a non-starter in that regard anyway on both sides.
Check's cleared, But I said this: his perfect spot is TNA because he will. If you've ever heard him talk about his ideas for wrestling, it's a lot of spooky shit. It's almost like he wanted to kind of be the new Undertaker kind of thing. TNA has an undead realm. They already do that at their company. This is like this is not thinking about money, just thinking about how he likes to tell stories.
Yes.
TNA already works with that. So it's a better fit over there. And New Japan's always looking for people. New Japan's always looking for people to, that can have banger matches or whatever. It just depends on where his mindset is. Because to me, I was a huge fan of Tommy End. I was a huge fan of Malachi Black. When he signed with AEW, I was so excited for all these banger singles matches I was going to get. And I don't feel like I got any. So when he did leave and I found out, a whole bunch of rumors that it seemed like a lot of the stuff wasn't happening because of him, I always say this. I don't care about your backstage stuff unless it affects what comes on my TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sounded like a lot of matches that I wanted, I didn't get because of him. His attitude, yes. So that makes me not like you. Not the business side of it. Shit, I don't pay you, you don't pay me. It's like if you are affecting what I see on my TV,
that is a different situation.
That is where this fan gets pissed because I'm not getting something I want because of your attitude.
Correct.
Yeah. So there you go.
So yeah, I think that out of the names, I think we've hit on everybody that we would.
Okay. So no, Zoe.
You got one more?
I got a couple more. Zoe Stark. She's a very talented wrestler. I love her moveset. Even on the WWE 2K, I always said she was one of those ones with an underrated moveset. Just like she can wrestle. She can wrestle. She kind of has an edge to her. You probably might use her at ROH at first, and she'd have to kind of work her way up to AEW. And then Tyra May Steele's an Olympic gold medalist. I'm figuring out a fucking way to use her. I don't care if she just comes in, suplex people, and wins in 2 minutes. We Goldberg push her. You have an Olympic gold medal. You have the athleticism to do it. You have a name, because I don't even think, did she even go by her Olympic name?
I don't believe she did.
Yeah. Tamara Menza Stock. You can use her real name. I mean, like, she's 30, she's 34 this year. So whatever you're going to have to do, you're going to have to do it now. Right? But I'd give her a chance. She's an Olympic gold medalist. She adds legitimacy to whatever women's division she's in. There you go.
Fair enough. I think that's a pretty good sell. That's a pretty good sell there.
Yeah, even if I just have her spearing and jackhammering people, I'm like, I'm going to fucking use her. I was going to say Jeff Cobb, I'm okay with if he comes. I like Jeff Cobb. I always liked his finisher. So I thought it was funny. I kind of figured he was released before he was released because I was at SmackDown on Friday in Tulsa. And Will Hobbs did a tour of the islands from the second rope. So he literally stole like Jeff Hobbs' move. And I was like, that doesn't seem right.
Right.
And then I found out after the show he doesn't work there anymore. So yeah, it was just kind of one of those things that came through. Apollo Crews is a freakish athlete.
I was just going to say, Apollo is one that's underrated, I feel like, just because of how good of an athlete and wrestler he is. He's been stuck with shitty characters for a while. So,
yeah.
Excuse me. I feel like trying to redevelop himself would be something that would be a real, I'd need to see it.
I have a terrible idea. Again, this is terrible, but it would pop me. They bring him in, and he's with Stokely, and he's Big Stoke. Or he's Little Stoke. It would be Little Stoke. He would end up being, Big Stokely. Apollo, who's bigger than him in every other way, but they're both black and bald, would be Little Stoke, and it would be hilarious.
And he'd be like, I don't answer that name. My name is this.
Yes.
Like, no. Quiet, Little Stoke.
The quiet Little Stoke. Yeah. And the Wide Six, I've always liked Nikki Cross. The rest of them, I have nothing negative or positive to say about. I've always liked Nikki Cross. I've always liked her. So it was, if they wanted,
would you bring her back as the superhero gimmick that she had?
Now she just, don't do that shit in AEW. She just be a wrestler. She just be a wrestler. I know that's weird. I know that's weird in the 2026 to just be like, oh, I'm just a wrestler. I'm just a.
I forget the name of the. What was the gimmick? What was it?
ASH, almost a superhero.
Yes, Nikki ASH. Yeah, you don't want her to be ASH.
No. I'm just like I said, I've always liked Nikki Cross. She's always seemed very positive and all that kind of stuff. And I do think she's a good wrestler. I wouldn't even go decent. I think she's above decent. I think she's a good wrestler. So, I mean, there's definitely acts that you could put her in. But again, it's like if she doesn't sign with AEW, would I be like, oh my God, you missed on something? No.
Right.
Like I said, I could probably do a 30-minute show on how much I love Kaylee Ray and take you through the NXT and UK in progress matches. But we will see if Tony Khan is as high on her as I am. But he seems to like to hire people from the UK, so.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the women's roster, it's a lot of non-Americans on the roster.
More Australians. I need more Australians on the show.
Yes, no, but I'm excited to see what happens over the next few months. Again, with TKO, and I'm talking about, this is fact, this is not me, my thoughts, seem to be renegotiating, releasing, getting their budget down. I think there's going to be a lot of talent available. So, of course, you can't sign everybody. You know what I mean? That's why I said it's like, I have my specific person that I want to sign. But whoever you sign, have an idea for them. Not just one match. I'm talking about fucking Mariah May.
Yeah, I was just going to say, have something moving forward, like a months plus plan.
This is the time you're going to be here. This is what I have planned for you, the time you're going to be here. Sign up for it or don't sign up for it. But because you do have such a deep roster right now and you don't have a lot of time, you really want to be picky on who you bring in.
Correct.
But you do have the ROH thing. So like I said, someone like the Mensa Stock or Zoe Stark, who you might not be all the way in on, bring them in on ROH. Give them have them feud with Athena, see where they're at, and then decide maybe, hey, okay, well, now that I've seen what you can do and I like it, here's the storyline I have for you for the next 6 months of the year, and then you offer them the contract.
Yep. I think it's a fair point to make, and obviously we hope all these wrestlers are able to find at least some form of work just to be able to keep doing what they're doing.
Dude, it's the best time, one of the best times in history to be a professional wrestler. There's a lot of places to work. New Japan is kind of like in a rebuilding phase. And again, that's not me saying it. I listen to New Japan sites where they're trying to decide who their ace is, who their star of the company is. So you're going to have spots there. You may be able to get in the G1 or something like that. Again, Jeff Cobb and Tongaloa will probably be in New Japan by the end of the year. Okay.
That I was just going to say, most likely.
Yeah, they'll be in New Japan by the end of the year. But someone like Santos Escobar, if AEW is not necessarily ringing the door, I'm like, hey, they got a junior and a heavyweight division there. And it's like, dude, yeah, you can definitely, if you don't mind taking that long ass trip to Japan, there's some places for you to work there. Fucking Noah's so bad, they just made Shane Haste their world champion. Do you even know who that is?
I was just gonna say, you need to fill me in.
Oh God, TMDK. He was part of the original TMDK tag team. Yeah, he's the world champion. He can be world champion. Pretty much anybody on this list can be world champion.
Well, there you go.
And if anyone's listening and takes that as an insult, it was not meant as an insult. I am talking based on his booking for the last 5 years. Didn't lead you to believe he was going to be the heavyweight champion of a company.
Right.
Like,
but yeah, so. But yeah, I think outside of that, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of All Things Elite, guys. Once again, we appreciate all the support. We appreciate your guys' feedback and everything. We hope you're enjoying the show. If you enjoy it, continue to rate, review, subscribe, turn automatic downloads on, share us around with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish, whether you listen to us on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, wherever you're listening to us on. Thank you very much. You can follow us on social media. We're on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have on their network. You're going to enjoy them, all of them. And I am at Austin Sumwitz, SCUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. And sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. You can find the link to this in the description of this show. And with that, I will pass it off to my good buddy Floyd so he can take us home on this episode of All Things Elite.
Well, we are experiencing in our May showers here. May showers here in Oklahoma. A lot of people have been passing around the flu bug. You're like, why would you, Floyd, bring that up? Take your vitamin C, take your vitamin D, protect your immune system. I'm not saying it's 100% effective, but I tell you, over the last few years as a diabetic who is immunocompromised, I take my vitamin C, vitamin D. I'm not saying any brand. I'm just saying those in general. Take them every day. And I used to go on every trip I go on to, I would come back sick. Ask Austin. I would come back and I'd have some kind of cold or whatever. Started actually sticking to a vitamin C and vitamin D regimen. And I very rarely get sick on these events, knock on wood. So I'm just saying, make sure you're watching your health because spring, summer, it's cold. Your immune system is adjusting to the changing weather. So I just say, watch out for yourself, take care of yourself, stay healthy. And with that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it's home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.